Welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This is the show to encourage you to live your life to the fullest and do fun work that fuels your lifestyle. Hi, I'm your host, Gayla Scrivener. Every week, you'll be introduced to amazing guests, useful resources, and inspirational stories. You'll discover opportunities and perspectives to shape your version of living full and working fun. Hi there, and welcome back to the Live Full Work Fun podcast. I'm Gayla Scrivener. Wow. If you've been following me for a while, you may have wondered, where on earth did I disappear to? There hasn't been a Live Full Work Fun podcast episode published in, several weeks, and you probably thought that I quit altogether. Nope, I didn't quit, but I needed to stop. Well, today I'll catch you up on what's been going on and why the long hiatus from the show. And if you're new to the show and just discovered Live Full and Work Fun, let me explain a bit about this show and the philosophy surrounding it. I believe that we all have the opportunity to live a fulfilled life. A big part of our lives is our contributions, using our skills and our talents to earn a living. And that is the work part. I don't think that we should be contributing a bulk of our lives to a soul-sucking job. And sometimes, right, there comes a time that we may get into a career that we really love, and then it turns into something that's soul-sucking and we don't love it anymore. And that's when we can make a shift, because if a bulk of our lives are dedicated to a soul-sucking job, that makes our lives miserable, and we get stuck in this state of becoming like a woulda, shoulda, coulda type of person. And I believe that we shouldn't be stuck in that limbo state and always thinking, oh, well, I would have done this if, I could have done this if, I should have done this to make my life more fulfilled. We just need to act. We need to figure out our journey to make a live full, work fun lifestyle. And I believe we can create the life that we want. And if you find something soul-sucking, then you can figure out why it's soul-sucking, and is it temporary or is it a forever feeling? Because sometimes we're in our life and in that moment, because there's other things in our lives, that something that we used to love becomes soul-sucking, but it's a temporary feeling. And we can also begin to take action to move forward to what our vision of a full life means. You know, your and my definitions for living a full life are probably different. There's no doubt about that. They may be similar. Who knows? But we have different priorities and different things we want to see and do when we're on this beautiful earth. Most likely, what I find fun in work, you may not find at all. You may find that it's not your cup of tea. We're all different people, but having that philosophy of living that full life and creating work that feeds that life, that can be fun, is super meaningful. Now, what makes my life full is having the freedom and flexibility to be able to work from anywhere. And that wasn't always my goal. You know, in my 20s and 30s, my goals were very much different when I was raising my daughter and enjoying my career in healthcare administration. I loved that life. But over time, we change, right? And I found myself burnt out in that career that I chose in healthcare. I was completely burnt out, and honestly, I was jaded with the mindset, and it became a soul-sucking career, and I just didn't like where I was at that time, and I needed a shift. My daughter was about to leave for college, and I was searching for what would constitute my next chapter in my full life. So, again, right now, that work from anywhere lifestyle is truly what excites me and makes my life full. That freedom and flexibility helps me be able to not be tied down geographically. And I love that. And I have the freedom to help out my family wherever, whenever needed. And how I do it, how I create that freedom and flexibility is creating a business where I am not tied down geographically. What happened a little over 10 years ago is I ended up discovering that I really love content marketing and building systems for my solopreneur clients and working through the problem solving with my team. And that is the work that I truly love. So I created this show way back when. This show we're in the 7th season. It's been around for a long time. And I created this show because I'm truly fascinated by how many ways people can earn a living. It's just amazing because when I was in the healthcare industry, I had blinders on and I thought that that was the only way. You get a job and you work for somebody and you get your paycheck and that was the only way. But there are so many ways that people earn a living and figure out how to make their life fulfilled. There are some truly creative and innovative people out there. So I love to talk to them and see what makes their lives full and how they make their work fun. And I love to share that. So this show is a blend of interviews and solo shows to help you on your journey, on your live full work fun journey. So my hope is that these episodes will allow you to gain ideas. And that's what this show is about. Gain ideas, be inspired, get perspective, and maybe even motivated to seize that full life vision that you may have. I know that you have. And not getting stuck in something that you feel that is soul-sucking. Now, sometimes we get there and we need to kind of pull ourselves out, but I just don't want to see anybody in that pit of woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset. Here we go. Why did I stop the show for several weeks? Why? Just drop off the face of the earth here on producing new podcast episodes and even in social media. I dropped off. I just totally stopped. Hadn't even opened any of my social accounts barely for the last several weeks. Well, I found that I started down a path of making the business I created to be soul-sucking. And that just sucked. Yes, that wasn't supposed to be like that, right? We create something to fulfill our life, but, we kind of fall back into maybe old habits. I had left my day job over 10 years ago that was soul-sucking and felt like I had no control to make that career experience any better. That's why I created this business of my own, because I do have that control. When I find that I'm deviating from the path of living full and working fun, I have the choice. I can create, get back on my path. So I was on this path of running my own business that I had blinders on and just not doing all the stuff. I just had blinders on and just doing all the stuff and piling up more stuff and just getting worn out and burnt out. And my husband and I, my husband Robert and I had planned this 90-day nomadic trip last fall. We had planned this out early last year, and it might have been the end of the previous year that, hey, for this period of time, this fall, we're just going to go and hit the road because it's been well over 2 years since we had made any significant trips and was on a nomadic journey. And that's why we created the business in the first place. But, we got on this track of growing the business and staying put. I found myself just kind of sunk in this routine. So the day was approaching to leave. And I remember this, and I'll be honest with you, I was so close to having this very, very, very hard conversation with Robert to postpone the trip because there was just so much to do for work. I couldn't see, past my blinders of I've got to do all of the stuff. And I was starting to get kind of have these bitter feelings about work and about the business that we created because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And it hit me right before that we left. I realized that I had created the soul-sucking nature of the work that I really do love. What was it that was making it soul-sucking? What I needed to do was see how I could make it fulfilling again, how I could make it fun again. We created our business out of thin air to incorporate that nomadic travel into our lives. And we had stopped traveling for, like I said, about 2 years or so. I decided not to have that conversation with Robert, and we left for that adventure. And you know what? Shaking up that daily routine, that daily grind of what I had created, shaking up that routine and being on the road for almost 90 days, living out of, believe it or not, we lived out of our Suburban that we had built out the back to have a bed. We have solar, we have a refrigerator. We took our 3 wiener dogs, and Robert and I lived out of this Suburban for almost 90 days. Tell you what, that gave me perspective and gave me the space to think what would make work fun again. And I, plain and simple, I realized I took on way, way too much. And I had to stop doing all the things, stop doing some of the things. And I prioritized what brought me the most joy and put that focus on that and just kind of retreated a little bit. I knew that what I love and get the most joy out of when it comes to work is working with our clients' projects. I love that. I love the problem solving there, and I love working with my team. So that's what I did. I retreated to work with the few and worked with my clients and with my team. I stopped this show and pretty much stopped marketing anything for the company. And I struggled with this because, you know what? My company, Scrivener Solutions, is all about content marketing. And that's exactly what we do for our clients. And I struggled with this because I was like, I should be doing and continuing content marketing for Scrivener Solutions and keep on doing it to set an example. But I let that go. I let that mindset go. And I just stopped. I stopped so that I could focus and really evaluate what makes things fun and joyful to live a full life. The podcast was something that I've always loved producing this podcast. But in the midst of all the other things I piled onto myself, it became something I didn't enjoy. And that's just not right. It's not right. So I stepped away. But what I found joy in doing and continue to find is working with the clients. I realized I didn't like doing, or I found that content marketing and producing podcasts and everything like that, I love doing for my clients, but not so much for myself or for my own company. It's kind of like the cobbler's children, and they never get shoes. Kind of like that. And I think that is a common thing in any small business. That's what happens. But as I decided to just stop things like producing this show and falling off the face of the earth on social media, I focused on client projects and documenting our systems, our internal systems for our company, and making our systems as a team and just much more efficient. And I love that. I was so excited on some of the things that we created in the last few months. And my team and I are super excited about things. And, this gave me the opportunity to love my work again. This is what fires me up, is that problem solving, the system building. And I am so fired up and so proud of my clients and what they're achieving, and so proud of my team, of what they're learning and achieving and what they accomplish. I realized that I've gotten more clarity on how more nomadic travel will fit into our lives, and the clarity about our business offerings, what really should we be offering, and the business structure. It has been super helpful to retreat back and have a different focus. So also what I found joy in really over that 90 days was the travel and the nomadic life that we wanted to do when we created the business in the first place. We stopped. I didn't realize it. We stopped traveling to really focus on building the business for a couple of years. And I lost my way in what we really created the business for in the first place. To create that lifestyle where we could work from anywhere. I started accepting or saying yes to things that deviated from that path. Plain and simple. We want to do more travel. We are going to do more travel. So on our trip, we did this crazy thing. Yes, a crazy, crazy thing. We bought an ambulance. Yes, not just any ambulance. It is a 4-wheel drive ambulance that we're going to build out. That's what we're doing right now, is we're building it out to be a tiny home and office on wheels. He's big, he's red, and we named him Clifford. And we set ourselves up to do even more nomadic travel. And it's funny, we did not expect to buy a vehicle on our trip this past fall. No, was the furthest of our mind, but the opportunity came and we're taking action. Oh, and it's fun. It's fun. So stopping something like I did with this podcast doesn't necessarily mean quitting altogether. It just created space to have me do some really good thinking. This wasn't the only thing that I had stopped. There comes a time when it's important to just pause and evaluate. Eliminating some things to gain more focus, to allow yourself to do more thinking you need to gain clarity of the direction for a full life is not a bad thing. It's not. Sometimes stopping something altogether is what we want to do, and that's okay. Sometimes just taking a pause is just what the doctor ordered. There should be no guilt or justification in any of those decisions. Now, I am so excited to be producing the Live Full Work Fun podcast again. I am super excited to share conversations with some amazing folks who do amazing things to live a full life and have great tips to give you ideas, inspiration, and motivation for your Live Full Work Fun life. Now, I'm going to be doing more solo shows this year where I will share my productivity, my systems, and content marketing tips to also give you ideas to help with your Live Full Work Fun journey. So remember, stopping doesn't always mean quitting. Have you ever found yourself needing just to pull back in what you're doing from day to day, day in and day out? Just pull back to reflect and gain clarity on what you really, really like doing and what you really, really want to be doing. Well, let's talk about it. Pop over to Facebook and let's have a conversation in the Live Full Work Fun Facebook group. Now, indeed, yes, there hasn't been much posted in a very long time there, but now's the time to get the conversation started. Now, it's a private group, so if you haven't joined yet, just follow the link that's down here in the show notes, or you can just type in Live Full Work Fun in Facebook in the search bar and you'll see it. Just join the group and let's get the conversation started. Subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast player like iTunes or Audible, Stitcher, whatever, and stick with me for updates on our adventure, maybe the Clifford adventure, guest interviews, and tips for living full and working fun. Hope to see you over there on Facebook. Until next time, have a fantastic week.